I'm Alan Pearson, and just taking a few minutes to share some personal insights on the irritations of disconnected systems. I hear a lot of questions come across my desk. It's 2025. Why does my team still duplicate manual data entry into multiple systems? Sometimes it's different teams doing the same data entry. If only our finance system would share information with a client management platform, that would be so much better. Things like, why are there big gaps in my reporting and visibility in my organisation's day-to-day activity? Why can't I see what's going on? We have all this information. Why can't we see fill in the blank? I get these questions and very similar ones come across my desk on a daily basis. Maybe you have pondered something similar, some similar questions to these, and going, is there a better way? Is there something better we could do? The old adage, communication is key. But we often think of communication, it's only considered that it's impacting those human to human interactions, that's forging of those person to person relationships that lead to that organisation function when things go well, or sometimes dysfunction when things fall down, when communication breaks down. Like the system to system communication, it's equally as impactful on the capability, the breadth of capability, and also on the capacity of our organisations. That those pathways allow current information to flow between our core systems. They create that cascading positive impacts for our organisations when we get it right. There's four main areas. There's time savings. We can actually eliminate a lot of rework, which is in that repetitive duplication. Sometimes that's same team member entering into multiple systems, but sometimes it's spread across different teams. Greater visibility, fresh insights, fill in those reporting and information blind spots by getting that information to flow better. Decision making be quicker and less resource intensive for management, for instilling focus and attention, making better informed and higher quality decision making in a quicker time. So it's a much better decision making when we can see what's going on. Better measurement. You can't manage what you can't measure, is the old adage. But how do we identify those bottlenecks, the performance outliers, the great performing team member, the one that's not doing so well? How do we set up those mentoring relationships? How do we do that coaching? Where is that needed in our organisation? We need visibility. What about speed? Those opportunities and those emerging threats. How do we respond to them timely before the problem becomes bigger or before the opportunities pass us by? What about maximising investment in our current systems, extending the lifespan? We might have just be experiencing growing pains, or we may have outgrown them. What about freeing up team members' time to create greater impact, to focus on more beneficial impact, more impactful tasks? That the benefit of that strength in communication applies to our systems as well as to our teams. There's many benefits there about creating capacity through better system to system communication. But today's reality for many organisations, it's like the old tin can telephone that we made as kids. Do you remember that? Do you remember playing in the backyard, a couple of tin cans on a bit of string? Or am I showing my years of experience? Like for us kids, it kept us really busy. But the experience, if we're honest, was pretty poor. The quality of the communication on this bit of string was terrible. And our systems might be like that. Might already talk, but it could be like that tin can telephone experience. It's pretty limited. It doesn't really work as well as it could. So what do we do about it? We can experience that better organisational communications. We can get those systems to share information. And I call that improved system to system communication. I refer to as information enrichment. We're combining data from multiple sources, from system A, system B, system C, provide this richer view of what's going on in the organisation, which supports that better management, better decision making. Some questions for you to ponder. Where does information remain hidden or perhaps disconnected within your organisation? Where are those information silos? Where do they exist? What might it mean for you if you had those greater insights? Be able to make that quicker and better informed decisions. Would that long distant binocular view be able to see into the future, or that close insight, that microscope view be of most benefit? Ideally, having both is the most valuable, and it's actually easily achievable and deliverable to many organisations. Another question: how could I utilize the data and organizational knowledge that I already have to make those predictive, actionable insights? We can leverage that information you already have with a well-educated, and I remember that time quite serious, a well-educated and a well-supervised AI can become a real powerful advantage, but it needs to be educated properly and supervised. The irritations of those disconnected systems is where I started. My clients kind of use some stronger and sometimes more colourful language than just simply irritations. I'm curious, how would you describe the impact of limited system to system communications within your organisation? What language would you use? How does it make you feel? Are you curious to explore the potential time savings that might be achieved for your organisation? Maybe look for the benefits of deeper and broader visibility, so that depth and the breadth of information. What about maximising the investment you've got in your existing core systems, extending their lifespan, extending the lifetime, the knowledge and experience your team has in those already, avoiding the change needs, freeing up the team members' time, creating capacity for greater impact, to doing more beneficial, higher value tasks, those really important forward thinking, position in the organisation. I'm Alan Pearson from InnovateRx. I hope you found this short video helpful. Reach out for a chat if you're curious to learn some more. It's possibly best to use a proper telephone, LinkedIn, Messenger, or email rather than the old spaghetti tin can on 2 bits of string. Dad joke, my tin can phone number is actually unlisted, so you'll find difficulty to reaching me on that. Take care. Hopefully this was of some value to you. Thanks for listening.